Okay, so we're outside now, and I'm in a shelter right now because the wind is so strong that the raindrops feel like needles. They sting, and that is not good when you do not have adequate eye protection. So what I'm going to attempt to do is give you a sort of okay view of what's going on out here through some sort of a veil, if you will. Have a look for yourself. There we go. Whoa, look at those swells out there. Those swells have got to be at least 8 to 10 feet. That's a surfer's delight, I tell you. Just so you know, for those that aren't familiar, of course, this is all, of course, supposed to be a beach, and a pretty big one at that. You can tell because the water where the waves are shallow and breaking, that's where a beach is normally at. The bigger waves out there represent where the ocean normally starts. So I would estimate that the beach out here is located from the start of the dunes about 150 yards out. Pretty amazing. How do you do?
Careful with your camera.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 150 yards out. That's where the ocean normally starts. That's where the beach begins. You can tell by how the waves break. Further up the way, you can tell the seawall is doing its job. Let's try the opposite end here. And whoa, look at this. Total exposure, ladies and gentlemen. Total exposure. I'm trying to get started on that. Okay, so we've had our fun here for now. We're about to migrate, but not before I take a few shots. Cheerio! Okay, welcome back. So, kind of at the end of the journey for the day. Didn't really get as much in as I wanted to, partially because of the fact that conditions are just so harsh that, given the minimal amount of equipment that I have, and the fact that things are actually getting worse out here, I figured it was time to call it a day. I just wanted to give you guys one last example of the kind of power that nor'easters like this can have. Right now we're in Wildwood, New Jersey, just south of Northwild, of course. We are close to the corner of Rio Grande and Susquehanna Avenues. This is a pretty busy intersection right here because it is part of the main thoroughfare that gets you on and off the island of Wildwood, which is a big deal considering the fact that this corner, this avenue, is one of the most flood-prone territories in all the island, in fact in all the area around here. Sometimes the water that gets through here is so deep and so impassable that it's not even a good idea for SUVs to drive through. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, if you can see. Now, as soon as I get this in focus. Okay, so I know that's hard to see over there, but that is about, I would guesstimate, up to 2 feet of water in some places over there on that entire street where the traffic intersection is, right in front of that building, set of condos. It floods there. It can flood there sometimes just because of high tide. So when you put together a full moon plus, you know, a nor'easter like this, it comes as no surprise that something like this can get that out of hand. If you look further down here, I don't know exactly the name of this road down here, but this area is also under a pretty significant amount of water, as you can see. Where the restaurants are, even the parking lots up in here are inundated with quite a bit of standing water. Keep in mind also that we're on the edge of a series of marinas, as you can see by the boats. And that's how crazy it is out here right now. It's about 4:20 in the afternoon, which means high tide will be coming in about a half hour. The back bays will start getting flooded again in about an hour, 2 hours or so, because they take a while to soak up after the ocean reaches its peak. So what you're looking at here is potentially as bad as it is going to get, at least for the night. There's no telling what tomorrow may bring. I don't think tomorrow's going to be much worse than what you see right now. The reason why I wanted to get this at this time of the day specifically was because for two reasons. One, high tide was coming up at a certain time, and I wanted to collect the full effect of it as best as possible right before then. And two, because of the fact that high tide was coming up around sunset. Sunset will actually be in about 10 minutes versus 30 minutes for, you know, high tide and everything. So it was a good idea to try and get it while there was a sufficient amount of daylight. But I'm going to get back to my place, process some of these photos and the video footage that I have so that I can try and send it out for all you onlookers and everything, and solicit my stuff to all the local news outlets. Hopefully they'll try and make some use of it on the news at some point, or in the papers. I thank you for everything that you guys have done in terms of watching. I thank you for your positive feedback. Just trying to show, educate, entertain a little bit. Call me crazy, but it was a fun experience. And hopefully we'll do this again in the near future, being that this is my first experience ever kind of taping something like this. So, with that being said, I wish you all a happy evening. And that's all. Peace.